Afternoon. How are you all? I had a bit of trouble going live there. Let me go live, but I'm here. Welcome to my kitchen. Episode 30. Very exciting. It feels like an anniversary. I don't know what. Maybe I should have made that a question today. What is 30 in marriage years? I don't know. A bonus question. What's that? I don't know the answer. Just making a tea. What's 30 in wedding years? That's not the question. I've got another question, but awash with questions today. Today we're going to talk about leadership. We're going to talk about leadership today, so that's what we're going for. And I've got some Jaffa cakes because I do love Jaffa cake. So like them. Anybody there? Who's there? Is it Pearl? I don't know. It could be right. It could be right. I have no idea. I never lasted that long. So Pearl, the cynics are in. The cynics are in. Less 4, I think, is the cake there. Apricot Jaffa cakes. Yeah, I'm not sure. You see, I don't like messing with tradition, really. Delayed joining. That's me as well, Rachel. I had a bit of a going live problem today, but we haven't missed anything. Nothing exciting. I'm just making tea. Well, there's. I'm sure everybody's really joining for the key bits of learning that I'm giving them. Well, there's 2 questions actually, because it's the 30th episode. Hooray, 30th episode. And the question is, what's 30 in wedding years? I don't know what that is. I don't know the answer either, so I can't tell you whether you're right. So you'll have to Google later. So that's the first question. But the real question, because it's episode 30, which is quite a lot of episodes, my question today is how many episodes. I thought I'd go telly because Gemma Harvey was very excited that telly was her expert. That was her specialist subject. So I thought I'd do some long-running episode questions. So my question today is how many episodes of EastEnders have there been? That's my question. How many episodes of EastEnders have there been? Oh, it is Pearl. Well done, Gemma. Good Googling. Thank you, Rachel. So it's Pearl. But the real question, how many episodes of EastEnders? That's my question today. That's a bit harsh. Because there's a few local EastEnders celebrities live very close to me. We have Nigel Harman here, and we have Lucy Speed, who played Natalie many years ago. Nigel Harman, of course, played Dirty Den's son, Dennis Rickman. So a bit of local celeb knowledge. But anyway, there we are. 13,000 from Gemma. Anybody else want to? Matt? Anyone? No guess from you, Crofty. Like 48 million or something like that. I don't know if that's a wow to my local celebrity knowledge, or they don't actually live right here. That's honestly, Matt, that's so close. How many noughts is that? I can't remember. That's a lot of noughts. Matt's wrong, everyone. Gemma's closest at the moment. Anyway, so how many? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Nigel Harman. Anyway, sorry if you can hear my phone. That's my landline ringing. I'm terribly sorry. 8,000 from Cara. Right, well, let's do some work. Keep your EastEnders guesses going just to prove it's live. So we're going to talk about leadership today, and a lot is made up about what's the difference between a leader and a manager. 13,001. Gemma Harvey's still closest, or Gemma Harvey's still closer than you, I should say. And so we're going to talk about leadership and management. What's the difference? Leaders are the people who drive us to follow them, kind of thing. They kind of inspire us. They make us want to do those, go that extra mile. Managers are generally hierarchical. Managers are we generally follow a manager because of hierarchy. They might not be the person we'd aspire to be. Whereas a leader can be somebody that you don't even work with, but you choose to follow them. You know, if you think of great leaders, you know, question I often ask in the training room is who do we think is a great leader? And we just get the same, and this isn't a criticism, but we get the same names crop up a lot. You know, people like Mandela, people like Martin Luther King, all those kind of people who are Gandhi, all those kind of people come up regularly. But what is it that all of them had? And can that kind of thing be learned? Well, most kind of research suggests that it can. For me, I kind of liken it to things like juggling. Nobody's born able to juggle, but everybody has the ability to be able to juggle. And it's just about how quickly can we learn it, or do we have skill sets that will help us learn that? And I think that's the same with leadership. So we all have an ability to be leaders. Most research will say 8 out of 10 people can be a leader. 1 out of 10 chooses not to be, and 1 out of 10 actually just cannot. They don't have the capability to learn, nor the willingness to take it on. So that 8 out of 10 can be leaders. Then if we start breaking it down, and here I'm going to use the research that's done by Jim Cruises and Barry Posner, and they wrote a book called The Leadership Challenge, and they come up with 5 key traits of a great leader. And, you know, if you all just mentally think what makes a great leader, just toss some words around in your head at the moment, and you'll probably recognize that we all know what a good leader looks like. Once you get it packaged up, you go, yeah, I get that. I can probably do something with that. So the first trait is model the way. Model the way. So why should anybody follow you? As a leader, do you model the behaviors that people want to and are willing to follow? So that's the first thing, modeling the way. You've got to have real clarity in values. I spoke about this in personal branding. Most leaders have a strong brand, something that people want to follow. Not only do they have a strong brand and they understand their values, they display those values regularly. As good leaders, what leaders do is they find out about the values of their followers. There's got to be some merge between those things. Even in a business, the leadership of your business, the values that we display within a business should kind of dovetail a little bit with your personal values. You know, I said before, it's very important for me to have fun at work. One of my company's values is fun. I like have a laugh. That's kind of one of my core values. So that business can allow that. So that becomes quite crucial to me. That's the first thing. Model the way. Yeah. Do I do what I say I'm going to do? Do my behaviors match how I work? That's the important thing. Okay. Second one was inspire a shared vision. The key word for me, and you know, when I said to you, think about what a leader does, think about how they behave, think about how they act. One of the words that often comes up is inspiring. I think the big bit here is about inspire a shared vision. It's about the shared vision. A lot of people in leadership roles have visions, but again, they have to move people to go with them. The vision has to be shared, has to be cascaded out, and something good has to be there for everybody to follow it. Otherwise, the danger is it's almost like a dictatorship. However, the leader then has to cascade that vision. They have to have the vision, and it's got to be shared, but therefore it's got to be shared excellently and eloquently. Good leaders, generally great communicators. If you think of a great leader, they'll be a very, very impressive communicator. They're good storytellers. They tell us things that engage us, that hold us. Any great leader you hear speak, you're just kind of engaged. Sometimes, even if you don't always believe, you know, it's easy to go to things like politics when we talk about great leaders. And some of those people who you might be willing to listen to might not always agree with their politics, but they create and paint a picture that I want to go with. Using all of those things like those visual, auditory, and kinesthetic senses. And probably one of the greatest known leadership speeches is Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. And if you listen to that speech and really break it down, he uses all of those things. He paints pictures. He talks about bells ringing. He talks about senses. He paints pictures of black hands and white hands joining together. Little children's. He talks almost about creased knuckles, and he really engages and hooks everybody in. He also uses well-known quotes and phrases from the Bible, from the American Constitution. He even quotes Shakespeare in a rather bizarre way. There, he just changes it slightly, but it's a Shakespeare quote. Okay. And Gemma's just put in there is a TED talk that I use on presentation skills by a guy called Mark Robinson, and he kind of talks about Martin Luther King's speech. So that's quite useful. So thanks for that. The third thing that great leaders do is they challenge the process. They try and do things differently. So they look at what exists and they try and change it and do it differently. Always constantly trying to improve and make things better than they were. And I think we see this in who challenges the process. How do we challenge the process? How do we look to do things differently? I did some work at Carlsberg at the brewery, and they used to kind of press the yeast for the beer, and they were throwing loads of stuff away. And of course, what they found out, in fact, was they could sell this. So all the extract from the yeast is, of course, goes to Marmite. So instead of a waste product, they've now got a profitable product. And that's challenged the process. This isn't just waste. Somebody else can probably use it. Ben and Jerry's do it as well with the scrapings of the ice cream, and they give or sell it to pig farmers. So there's a lot of pigs in America, I presume, drinking cookie crumbles or whatever they are. So challenge the process, constantly looking to do differently, almost being one step ahead of the market. The fourth thing, enable others to act. Great leaders get the best out of other people. It's kind of about talent management. Through a pragmatic approach, great leaders are great coaches, not telling people what to do, but finding out what they can do best and helping them achieve it. That's what great leaders do. And the very fifth one and final one is encourage the heart, which is about recognition and reward, understanding individually what people like to be recognized for, and importantly, how we reward them. What do we celebrate at work? How do we celebrate, and also then how do we recognize people's achievements? They're two very different things, recognition and reward, and great leaders do both of those things. So we can celebrate things like cyclicals, like Christmas, birthdays, anniversaries. We can celebrate success, things like that. But the recognition we offer people, we can be so much better. And of course, you can give people money, but there's loads of other things that we can recognize people with things like maybe time, opportunity, new business. If you want to go easy, you can go about office size. I worked somewhere and they had an employee of the month. This was in a call center, and what they had was the parking space outside was given to the employee of the month. And so because it was a very young demographic of the office, that meant that person could almost arrive like 2 minutes before they were due to start. They didn't have to worry about where they're going to park. But they actually had a park and ride because the parking was. So all of those things that encourage the heart, those 5 simple things, model the way. Do you say what you're going to do? Do you inspire a shared vision? You have a vision for the business, or you're part of the business, and make it accessible to everybody who is going to follow you. You challenge the process. You constantly look for something new, something different to make the business move and improve. Fourthly, the people. Enable others to act. Do you get the best out of your people by developing them, by maintaining the level of talent you've got in your team? And finally, encourage the heart. Do you understand inside what makes them work the best they can be? Those 5 things, Jim Cousins, Barry Posner, in their book, The Leadership Challenge, top stuff. It's like a fable, an easy book to read, and I'd really recommend it. So they're my 5 things on leadership. Now remember, I'm not here this Thursday. We're just doing Tuesdays only. So it's going to be next Tuesday. And what we're going to talk about is one of those traits in a little bit more detail. We're going to talk a bit about coaching, which I'm sure some of you are a bit familiar with. But we're just going to talk about coaching, why it's beneficial, and how to do it. Now, we know that it's a Pearl wedding anniversary if you do 30. So this is my Pearl tea at 3. How many episodes of EastEnders are there, though? There are currently 6,124 episodes have run. So, Clara, you're pretty close. Gemma, you must have enjoyed them so much you watched them all twice. That's all I can think. And it's good to see Crofty still in last place. So thank you very much, everyone. England have just won the test match. It's happy days. Enjoy your afternoon. Enjoy your week ahead. And I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. Thanks very much, everyone.